G'day guys, it's Nick from RidgeGrip here. We're here for our first ever episode of RidgeGrip RIGS. We're here with the BigBlue.GU and our mate Jaden. Let's talk about the front of this thing.
Yeah, so it's a 2007 GU Patrol Common Rail. It's got a custom front bar that I made myself. Wanted a bit more of like a sleek design look. It's running an independent winch cradle. It's got next gen ARB fog lights. They're hooked in with the DRLs. Need to still wire in like the actual fog light capability of it. Yeah, not too much else. Obviously the headlights, they're from Panel House, the Defender new generation style headlights. So I've had them for probably like a year or so now. Yeah, not too much else going on. Just wanted to keep it like a nice sleek stealth front end look and keep everything like real close tucked up, real high clearance. Some of the tracks and stuff.
So up the back we got a bit going on.
Yeah.
What's happening with this rear bar?
So this was just a rear bar I picked up off a marketplace. I wanted to like make my own one, but I was getting real short on time. We were heading off to Tasmania and I'd already spent a good portion of the year building the rest of the car and obviously everything on the inside and all that. So I ended up just getting this rear bar off a marketplace and modified it. It hung quite low down underneath and I've put a really aggressive departure angle on it. It had like old school trailer lights in it, so I welded up all that and then put these ones in from Road Vision. These are like the stealth tail lights. The actual tail lights on the body are from Panel House, like the headlights. The swing arms came on the bar. The tyre one actually pivots with the door itself, so it's got a linkage system on it, and it's good for a 35. I think it would struggle if it was anything a bit bigger. The tank is actually one that I made myself, so this is a 40 litre slimline water tank with a custom like cradle that I made myself, and then it holds the recovery tracks. So the recovery tracks I can also fit another 2 on the front, and that just pivots out with a lock and everything on it. Yeah, and it's got a reverse light, just a King's light bar that I've put in and put a bit of blackout spray paint on it. Just nice and stealthy down there. Just to hide it a little bit, and it doesn't need to like blind anyone. And obviously a Cactus tyre bag. They're now rebranded to Red Gum Camping, but it's the exact same tyre bag, and that's bloody mint. So much storage in them. Holds so much stuff. Chuck in like spray cans for like WD-40 and that, and litre of fuel doctor on one side with more storage to spare, and a hose to fill up the tank in the front, snap strap under the garbage bag on the inside, and it's got all of your heavy duty links and all that sort of stuff. Nice. So it holds up really well, and it's had a lot of weight in it, and you can, even if you wanted to take out the bag, you can like shove wood and all that in there too. And then they work mint.
Definitely, and look, if Red Gum want to sponsor me, definitely hit me up. We'll work something out. Yeah,
we've got, obviously we've got a rooftop tent and stuff as well. You can see from the back. So that's a 23.0 Sabre Max on tier 1 roof racks. I've got 2 solar panels up there. They're a slimline flexi panel that's 300 watt each, so 600 watt combined, but I don't know if it actually puts that out. That's Chinese numbers. And a 23.0 270 awning to match the tent. What else we got?
You got your UHF back here as well.
We got a stubby UHF, obviously with the stealth bull bar on the front. Didn't want to like put anything up there on the front. I did have an old alley bar that had cut up and made high clearance, and I had a big GME antenna on there, and then it sort of got minced up with the 35s that grabbed the wing and bent the whole bar and stuff. So I decided to keep it on the back and just keep the stubby one on. When you're like traveling in convoys and stuff, stubby is all you need. But I do have the big antenna inside the car, and you just change the whips over. And that's just on a K-on door mount bracket. So it lets you just mount it directly to the door hinge. It doesn't actually pivot out with the door, it just uses it as the pickup point.
Perfect.
But yeah, it's mint.
G'day guys, if you want your rigs featured in one of these videos, head over to the Instagram, RidgeGrip.AUS, or leave a comment on the YouTube video, and we'll make sure to be in contact with you with getting your rigs featured.
Yeah, these work mint. So this is just a storage drawer with a heap of clear top canvas bags in here.
Yep.
And that's sort of like the dry food pantry. This one's a kitchen slide drawer. So this one keeps pots and pans. This table flips up, and we keep induction cooker. We've got a flat plate induction cooker for pots and pans, and we've got an induction cooker that's like an electric fry pan.
Yep.
They're all from Kick-Ass.
Yep.
They work mint. I got some cutouts I made on the door here. It does sort of like, if you ever want to put a tire back on the door, it will compromise like the actual structure of it holding it. So I don't plan to ever put the tire back on the door. So I got like a big holder here that I've made out of some angle plate and plated it in. This holds like hand wash and stuff like this. This big huge one here, I love cooking, so this holds like 12 master foods like spice jars and a couple big bags of spices and some oil spray for cooking. Yeah, we got the big 110 litre fridge, fits mint in there. Big storage in the freezer too. This was awesome all around Tassie. No dramas with going into any sort of error modes or anything like that they sort of get in the 85 models. I can't remember the name of the fella, but he's on TikTok and Instagram. He makes these relocations to change the latch style.
And they're all 3D printed, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all 3D printed, so they come out mint. Then obviously, yeah, we just strap down the chairs on the top there. We normally chuck pillows up in here too. It depends on how thick they are to put them in the tent. And actually, all on the inside this little cover panel here, we've got the Kick-Ass battery monitor. We've got the switch for the inverter, so we're running a RENERGY 3000 watt inverter.
Yeah, nice.
And a RENERGY 50 amp DC-DC charger.
Perfect.
So that's all tucked away in here.
Yep.
Just all hidden. Everything's on circuit breakers. I don't like the idea of fuses anymore. Like after going through years of doing 12 volt stuff, circuit breakers just seem like the better option. If you're in the middle of nowhere and something goes off, you're not having to try and like find fuses or go to a store and find fuses. You just retrip the circuit breakers. So that's all in there. Big cabling. So there's a 300 amp lithium battery. Once again, Kings, no issues at all. And what else we got? We got a little storage holder up on the side here from Horizon Touring products. Nice. That's just keeping like cutlery and stuff if you want as well, and just keep some like flexi lights and stuff. On the sides, we've got the Cruiser Company lift up windows. Yep. Super cheap. It's like $1,000 to deliver for both sides. Yeah, nice. Single gas strut design. So that side's got some power outlets on it. That side's just easy access for like getting to chairs and stuff like that. And a table. We've got like a fold out table that slides down the side here along with the tent ladder. So it's all easy to get in and out.
Jaden, we can see a little bit of the Dobinson's gear going on, but what are you running for your wheels, your tyres, your suspension? Yeah,
so on tyres, they're Maxxis Razors 315 75 16, so just about a 35. Just on some dynamic steelies. Yeah, nice. It's just easy. I've looked at chromies down the line, or alloys, whatever you want to call them, but this is like a tourer, so wheels don't really bother me. So I'm happy to just keep some steelies on there. These are due for some new tyres, so we're getting some new ones down the line. These are done quite a few Ks, but they're not... Maxxis tyres don't seem to be like holding up these days on the road. like my very first set of MTs, you know, rotating regularly and stuff, I got like 75,000 Ks, and these ones have struggled to even get probably like 30,000 out of them.
Wow.
They're just not worth it these days. So yeah, I'll give something different a try. But for now, they're doing the job. The suspension setup, there's a bit going on. We've got superior Hyperflex radius arms. They're to suit a 4-inch lift. So this is sitting on a 4-inch. It used to be on 3. I would sort of like to drop it back to a 3. But it drives and handles fine. I've got all road safe panards and drag links and stuff. I've got a chrome ollie drag link. It's on 3-inch Dobinson flexi coils to suit bar and winch in the front. But because of how light the front end is sitting, it's actually sitting at about a 4-inch.
Yeah.
And the shocks, so they're the Dobinson MRAs, the remote adjustables.
Yeah.
So they're actually an 80 series 6-inch shock in the front.
Yeah, so you get plenty of travel out of that.
Yeah, and the rears are Patrol 6-inch rears.
Yeah.
They're sitting on 80 series bump stops. I had to put a big 50mm spacer in the back for the bump stop, just to help. When you're sitting at about a 3 or 4-inch lift with that compression on the stroke of the shock, it would have bottomed out.
Yep.
It measured at like 450mm from like shock mount to shock mount compressed, and these shocks are about 470. So you don't want to risk blowing out the shock or anything like that.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, it flexes like crazy. To help with the radius arms,
Yep.
you had to do a front cross member notch.
Yep.
Because your front tail shaft ends up binding, and you actually lose a heap of flex. Not running a front sway bar, running a rear sway bar.
Yep.
That just helps with a bit of torsion and twist through the chassis. It helps the front suspension work really well. So
Yeah, nice.
these 35s drop like nothing. I've had it on a flex ramp before, and it's like all the way up here.
Yeah.
It was massive. And the tyres in the rear, even with factory sway bar, factory links, the tyres in the rear still drop all the way down. I've just done the standard Patrol thing where you flip your tail shaft. They're skinny on one side, fat on the other.
Yep.
So it doesn't hit your middle cross member.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, not too much else. Like, there is a bit in the suspension. There will be more stuff to come down the line in suspension parts, but yeah, it works and handles really well.
Perfect.
At the moment. Yeah, and drivability is quite comfortable. Like, it's a Patrol. It's going to be a bit of a boat here and there, but it's not like stupid boatiness where it wants to pull you off the road. It's still pretty handles pretty well.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
You've done a fair bit. What's next on the big girl?
I would really like to put in some PSR long arms in the front. Remove the Hyperflex arms. Like I did mention earlier that the Hyperflex work really well. They do flex like crazy. And on-road comfort is all right, but I know long arms help stiffen all that up, and it just plants the car a lot nicer on road. And off-road as well. So front long arms would be one of the next things. And I would really like rear long arms as well. That would just help the car like be super planted, really comfortable. And obviously it does help with flex too, but it's more about comfortability as a tourer. I did at one stage want to go down the path of being like a full, flexi tracks rig, but this is going to be the dedicated tourer, and maybe one day you guys will see the next build. That's the dedicated off-roader. That's what the Hyperflex arm's going to go in. But if anything were to go wrong with the motor, it would get an engine swap. That's probably one of the biggest things. There's plenty of different options for these things, but I do have two options. One's on a budget, and one's like if you've got bloody money to spend.
Go down to $2,500 6BT.
No thanks. It would probably be for a budget an M57. And then if budget,
do that 8-speed with it as well.
I would love to do an 8-speed. Just as a tourer, it'd be a lot more like comfortable driving. But if money wasn't an option, it'd probably be an FTE. But that's future plans. Like, I've had this car for like 5 years now, so there'll be plenty more years left in it. So see what happens, see what motor will go in by that point. Could be something better out of bloody small little car by that
Yeah.
point or something, bloody golf motor or something.